Levante versus Barcelona, but first we'll be having a moment's reflection. Sad news today for the passing of Pierre-Mario Morosini, who died from a heart attack, just 25 years old. Well, your commentary team for tonight's game is Jerry Armstrong and Kevin Keatings.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Ciutat de Valencia Stadium, where Xavi and the star-studded Barcelona players go in search of narrowing the gap on Real Madrid once again to 4 points. Crucial game, no margin for error against the Levante side, who've been very much the surprise package in this La Liga season, still with a hope of finishing in a European place. A side that is only in its 7th ever season in the top flight of Spanish football, normally battling when they are amongst the elite against relegation. And here they are, having been in the top 4 for pretty much the whole season. The home side in the Barcelona colours, incidentally. Don't get fooled by that. But with very little to lose here, Jerry, given the kind of season Levante have had. Of course, points are important for them. It'd be very disappointing to miss out on Europe now. Still a possibility of that's tight, but big game for both.
Well, it is. There's something to play for Levante. Obviously, Barcelona's chasing the league title, but you're right, Kevin. Europe, Champions League, you know, a place in Champions League for Levante would be unbelievable. And a very experienced Levante side, lots of experience. They've surprised everybody, myself included, this season. They've been magnificent, and it won't be an easy game for Barcelona tonight, but they still are the favourites for me. They need the likes of Messi and co to do their stuff.
Pep Guardiola showing plenty of faith in midfielders, Mascherano and Busquets, as the two central defenders. Dani Alves is resting a little bit of a hamstring strain on the bench. Puyol's playing at right back. This is Koné, top scorer for Levante this season, Aruna Koné. Now Iborra. Final touch appeared to be off for Adriano. It is a throw to Levante. To be taken by Pedro López. No genuine progress there for Fàbregas. Hasn't been starting that many for Guardiola of late, just his 4th start in 8 games for Fàbregas. Stolen the ball well from Iborra, finding Messi. Fàbregas makes his way into the middle. Messi looking to find a way past, and there is no way past. Good work there by Cabral to hold up Messi.
Well, this is, you know, this stage of the season, there's Juan Ignacio Martinez. This stage of the season, Kevin, it's so difficult for the Barcelona players who've got matches coming 2, 3 a week. You know, it's really tough for them. Champions League semi-final ahead of them, you know, against Chelsea, and they're trying to peg back Real Madrid, who have extended their lead obviously tonight, but played a game extra ahead of the Clásico next week, when they're hoping they can close the gap even more. But I just see some of the players starting to get fatigued, and that's when a good manager knows when to rotate and when to change.
Well, he's rested key players in Alves and Iniesta. Would have been many more if the gap had still been 10 points that Real Madrid were enjoying. But while there's still a title to be fought for, it's a strong side.
It is. I've watched them rotate. I've watched them rest Iniesta and Xavi last week, and you know, he's resting different players and trying to pick the right players to get the right results. And he's doing it right, but they're still finding it tough, and I just see signs of fatigue starting to creep into both Real Madrid and Barcelona players, which would be encouraging for Chelsea fans and Bayern Munich fans. I like. Good turn.
Pedro, who went a long time this season with just 1 goal in the league, but he scored in each of the last 2 games.
Yeah, his confidence has been low. He hasn't been the player he was last season, Kevin, and you're right, the goals have not flowed. But then Alexis has come back from injury, and he's starting to score goals. He got 2 midweek, as well as Messi and Pedro, and it's good to see the goals being shared about.
And here is Pedro. Thiago. Busquets kicking out Alexis. Fàbregas making the run. Referee, who tonight is Teixeira Vitienes, awarding Barcelona the free kick, taken quickly. Here's Xavi. Messi. Pedro, a lot of room here. Beaten away by Munúa. Koné on the chase. Mascherano need to be careful here.
Yeah, Kevin, there's pace there. And that's what you worry when you get a one-on-one with Mascherano. Koné's pace. You know, if he'd have started level there, I would have fancied him. I'm sure that's what they'll do. And I like Valdo as well, the right-sided midfield player who gets forward, and ex-Real Madrid player. They'll be saying to him, do us a favour tonight.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of eyes on Aruna Koné. His contract's up at the end of this season at Sevilla, so he's open to negotiations to find a new club next season. I don't know whether Levante have got enough cash to keep him, but he's had a very productive season on loan here from Sevilla. Had so many injury problems with the Seville-based club. They paid €12 million to PSV Eindhoven for him back in 2008. Such were the extent of his injuries. He's only played a little over 50 league games since for them. This is Pedro, deflected, comfortable for the experienced Uruguayan. Well, I think the referee says that has gone out after the deflection. That won't have pleased the home fans, or indeed the goalkeeper.
This is an interesting one. Now, Pedro of last year would have went on with the right foot and tried to strike that, bend it in the far post, but he's put it at a good height for the goalkeeper, Kevin. Still not the confident Pedro of last season when he was banging in the goals for fun. Well, should have been hammered low.
First viewing, it looked a bit of a harsh decision, the awarding of a Barca corner. Right across the face of that Levante goal. Fàbregas. Fed in by Xavi. Wasn't the worst ball either, and Puyol not too far away from getting a foot on that. Pedro López. This is Valdo. Levante exceeding all expectations. Their fans have had a heady ride this season, this bunch of journeymen and free transfers. They operate with the smallest budget in La Liga, just €23 million. And here they are, fighting still into the last 6 games of the season for a Champions League place. Good ball from Valdo. Xavi Torres, who'd made the burst from midfield. Good challenge from Iborra. Now Fàbregas. Alexis. Thiago. Xavi. Pedro. Fàbregas. Towards Messi. Messi again, looking for room. Just did enough there, Pedro López and Ballesteros.
Ballesteros is a big obstacle, and he's going to be a threat on set plays as well, Kevin. But Messi, when you think there's no space, he manages to find inches and still manages to get touches and turned and shot. And he's so quick, but it's good defending. They're doubling up there. And Ballesteros, he's got to be the biggest player in the league, isn't he? Still doing a good job. He was decent when he was at Mallorca as well.
This is Botelho. And again, Pedro Botelho, the Brazilian on loan from Arsenal. Won't be too many Gunners fans who have ever heard of Pedro Botelho. Here's Pedro. Alexis. In by Alexis Sánchez, and the header's wide from Thiago.
Good play from Barcelona. Lovely little 1-2 coming up here combination. He gets the return pass there. Alexis gets his head up. Look at the space. Thiago's not picked up. He's got himself a lot of space. I think he should have at least hit the target. That's a real chance for Barcelona, and Thiago, he's not renowned for his heading ability, but he does strike a good ball, Thiago.
A couple of awkward moments for Pep Guardiola's opposite number, Juan Ignacio Martinez, in the shape of Ballesteros there. Stayed very deep after the 1-2, very much played Alexis on, and when the cross came in, he seemed to duck his head out of the way.
I think they're the oldest team in the league, Kevin, this Levante side experience, but I don't think he's got the movement. He can't sort of cover the ground as quickly, so he stays central. And I think Barcelona know that. If they can get Messi one-on-one against them, they'd fancy their chances. But then, at the other end, I'd fancy Koné against any of their back two.
Pedro not alive to the pass.
See, I feel that's a gamble as well, putting Busquets in as a centre-back alongside Mascherano. But they have that much possession, they feel that they can get away with it. But again, one-on-one, Busquets isn't the quickest, and neither is Mascherano. And that man I know is very quick. There's Barkero, ex-Barcelona.
Been one of Levante's best players this season, José Barkero. Came on a free last summer from Numancia. 7 goals and plenty of assists in this eye-opening Levante season.
He's a very creative player. Barkero was when he was at Barcelona. And he's done a good job this season here with Levante.
Busquets. Alexis Sánchez finding Fàbregas. Ballesteros has missed it. Pedro López in there on Thiago. That was very good cover from the right back. Tucked himself right in behind Ballesteros there, importantly.
Pedro López needed to, Kevin. As I say, I think he knows that he's not the quickest, so he does tend to come around and give him a little bit of cover. Ballesteros will win the things in the air. You know, when the ball's lofted up there, he's good in the air.
Here's Adriano. Driven in by Pedro. Great cross.
That was wonderful. Wonderful ball. They're just so inviting. Pedro's cross was superb. You have to ask the question, why wasn't anybody on the end of it?
Well, they were entitled. Such was the quality to get on the end of the Pedro delivery. Corner. Barcelona on top. Messi with the corner, deliberately played out here to Pedro. Barkero. Botelho unable to find a way past Pedro.
People don't realise how hard the Barcelona players, wide players, have to work. That's good cover from Ballesteros. He's got back in again in the position, and once again, Kevin, Pedro López was right on the cover for him. But I'm watching Pedro from Barcelona tracking all the way back into his own half to win the ball back, you know, and they do work tremendously hard.
And we certainly know how hard this man Alexis Sánchez works for the cause as well. So on the flanks tonight, quality going forward and plenty of cover if needed. Adriano stinging the hands, but no more of Munúa. Playing in place of Eric Abidal, who's just had the recent operation, a liver transplant. All still appearing to go well for Abidal.
Yeah, there's lots of people in the wars, and one of our old colleagues, Trevor Francis. Yeah, I heard he's recovering well, and we send him our best wishes.
We most certainly do. One of the nice guys in football, Trevor. Had a heart attack yesterday, but we understand it's gone well, and you know he's a big fan of La Liga, so echo Jerry's best wishes, Trevor, from all the team here. Here's Pedro. Busquets looking for the run of Messi. Nearly.
It's funny, the only player that went with him was Ballesteros, Kevin, as well. And again, that experience shows when he plays the 1-2, at least he's gone with Messi. The return ball wasn't as good as it probably should have been. That's why you'd want Busquets a little bit further forward, wouldn't you? Wonderful passing ability.
What a thrill for this man, Juan Ignacio Martinez. They nickname him Jim after his initials, and it's his first ever season, Jerry, coaching in La Liga. Tremendous performance.
Well, it won't be his only one, because he's had his contract renewed. Now that they're safe, they automatically triggers a contract renewal for him and his staff, so well done to Jim.
It's incredible, isn't it? We're 6 games away from the end of the season. They're 5th in the table going into this weekend, and they've just made themselves mathematically safe.
Now the next stage is, can they get into Europe? That would be fantastic. In anticipation.
Nice football from Levante. Here's Valdo, ex-Real Madrid, so he'll be pumped up for this. Offside, Barkero.
That's a beautiful one. Not too happy, the home fans, with that one.
Fàbregas. Barcelona have rattled off 10 successive league wins in their quest to haul back Real Madrid. Alexis. Ball back in invitingly here for Pedro. And Munúa feeling he needed to take no chances there and conceded the corner.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the right decision in the end.
Well, he doesn't look happy about it, does he? I think he felt he was onside. But that's not how the linesman saw it.
Carlos Puyol forward for the Messi corner. Away by Juanfran.
Well, the journeyman Juanfran, who can play at centre half, he's been with lots of clubs.
35 years old now, the left back, former Spanish international.
He's won the ball. Let's see what the problem was.
Yeah, just been a two-footed lunge there by Botelho, which the referee took a disliking to.
Wasn't any complaints from Barcelona, though, was there? Just
Not really,
I think
no.
it was Senor Teixeira Vitienes decided that on his own.
Messi with a free kick. High line being held initially by Levante at least. And a free header. And And he came from an onside position. Thiago straight down the throat of Munúa.
Great delivery. Oh, he's given a handball, has he? This is the free kick, fantastic free kick. You're right, there was another player offside, but he wasn't offside, Thiago. He got a good touch on it.
Xavi. Botelho. Xavi Torres. Difficult one to control that for Botelho.
Excellent challenge, wasn't it? He's worked hard to win it back again, Kevin. And you can see the organisation, the wide players are tucking in to support the full-backs, and they know Barcelona's going to have a lot of possession, and they're making it as difficult as possible. So much so I heard they cut the grass, but they didn't cut the grass this week. They run the lawnmowers over it, but they kept it at a height that it didn't take any grass off the top, so that they could keep the grass long.
It's a foul by Koné.
He's getting frustrated, isn't he? Because his first touches let him down. And Busquets is very clever. He's got his body in the way there. That's clever play from Busquets. Forces him to foul him.
Massive week coming up for Barcelona. Go to Stamford Bridge for the Champions League semi-final first leg against Chelsea on Tuesday. Then it's the Clásico at home to Real Madrid, followed by the return leg against Chelsea. It's a massive week and a half.
Well, for both clubs, because they're going to get an extra day, aren't they? Barcelona in preparation. They're playing on the Tuesday and Real Madrid are on the Wednesday. Is it, or is it the other way around?
Well, I know Chelsea were trying to get a little bit of extra time to build up for the match on Tuesday, but got no joy. Decent run this by Valdo. Levante have got a corner. Got a good left foot, Barkero. Ballesteros positioned at the near post. Loose handling by Valdés. Penalty! Handball given against Busquets. And a yellow card for Sergio Busquets. Levante have a penalty.
Well, this is crazy. Just like the game before, Kevin. A penalty against Real Madrid. Opened the scoring on Busquets. And I said to you, I was worried about defensively marking on set plays. Balls come out loose. Well, Valdés hasn't gathered first, but then when the header comes in, it hits him on the hand. Yep. He's got his hands up and it hits him on the hand. The referee's perfectly positioned, and you can see why he's given the penalty kick. I think it's Gustavo Cabral who had the header, and it's Barkero.
Barkero scores! Midway through the first half, Valdés made to pay for his loose handling. And Jose Barkero makes it Levante 1, Barcelona 0.
Well, that's the gamble. Playing two central midfield players, or holding midfield players at centre half, and sticking a centre half Puyol at right back. Now they're going to have to fight their way back. They've done it before, though. They've been down before. Just think I start to see signs of where they're tired and they're starting to feel a little bit down. They'll have saw the result. Real Madrid against Sporting Gijón. They're There's the penalty.
Confident looking run up, wasn't it?
Wasn't it? Like I say, technically he's a very good player.
Well, they beat Real Madrid here earlier this season in a record-breaking start. If I remember rightly, that was the first of a 7-match winning streak that Levante had. They were unbeaten in the first 9 games. They were top of the table in the 3rd week of October for the first time in their history, led La Liga. And here they are, causing problems for Barcelona.
But you would say they're the team of the season. There's no doubt about it, for their abilities and certainly the lack of funding and everything else they've done. They've only lost 4 games at home in the league this season, Kevin, which is magnificent.
Here's Adriano. Valdo's off the pitch at the moment.
I saw him get off earlier. He had an injury, or he's desperate to get back on again. The referee hasn't spotted him. No, he has.
Fed in by Alexis. Little break for Pedro. Adriano. Just expecting Pedro to put his laces through that one. Fed in by Alexis Sanchez.
He's fouled him there, hasn't he?
Pedro's challenge on Lopez results in a Levante free kick. Still like an inviting volley on there, Jerry.
But he's still not the player he was last season, Kevin. This is a point I made. His goals have dried up. That's a foul. But the confidence of going striking it first time. Last season he was scoring goals for fun. Jim must be happy.
Puyol. The birthday in the week. Carlos Puyol has turned 34. Pep Guardiola says his desire, his hunger, I think most importantly his performances mean that there's a while to go yet in Puyol's career. Free kick here given against Xavi Torres.
There's a lot of passion, hasn't he? Oh, is this a cheap one?
Well, Fàbregas was wanting to take a quick free kick there. He felt Xavi Torres didn't move away and prevented the quick free kick.
Well, the wall's never 10 yards now, I'll tell you that.
Option of Messi or Xavi.
It's too far out, Kevin, is it not, for a shot?
Probably if Dani Alves had been starting, he would have been looking to blast it from this range, but only a substitute. Messi's going to try and bend it, and wall good enough. Xavi, Pedro.
It's a great ball. That was a great ball.
Another good ghosting midfield run as well by Thiago. Fàbregas. Pedro. Ballesteros losing his footing, but time to recover. Here's Adriano. Fàbregas. Alexis peeling wide here, offering the width. Looks to take on Juanfran, who executes a fine tackle. Juanfran has lost it. That might be damaging. This is Messi. Fàbregas!
Super little 1-2 there. Fàbregas was the one that played the ball wide, then went for the return pass. There's a chip from Messi. again, it's a header, but it's straight at the goalkeeper. If only could place that either side. And they've had a few chances, Barcelona, but haven't taken them.
Should have done better there, Fàbregas. Really inviting view of the target.
He's been scoring goals this season as well. Fàbregas, he's done very well, but not of late. He's scored too many recently. That's a poor pass. Pedro was flat-footed. Pass from Adriano. Well, his hands are out. You can see clearly there, Kevin. His hands are up and out, and he blocked it with his hands. It's definitely a penalty kick.
Thiago. Here's Alexis Sánchez for Xavi. Back with Alexis. And towards Pedro. Not likely to get too much joy in the air against Pedro López.
He doesn't like to attack the far post either, and Xavi Torres not getting the free kick. Ballesteros went in strong, feet up, studs. Dangerous play is what Thiago thinks, and he's given that one against him. His head's done. I think Fàbregas has done well to get his head out of the way of that one.
Millimetres away from getting a size 12 right boot flush in the face there, Cesc. Just over half an hour gone. Xavi's free kick. Defended well by Ballesteros. Barkero. Looked like a good challenge. Referee saw it that way from Mascherano.
I thought the challenge on Koné was a foul, and so did the fans, but the referee hasn't given that one. He's gone straight through the back of his leg. Mascherano's caught him right down the back of the right Achilles. Well, 31 minutes gone, Kevin, and the home side are doing what they've done this season, surprising people. They're well organised, they're getting behind the ball. Barcelona has to up the ante and needs to get... Well, they've had 2 or 3 half chances, but haven't really tested the goalkeeper yet for me.
A couple of good headed opportunities. One for Fàbregas, one for Thiago.
He scored a fabulous header about 2 months ago from near enough the edge of the box, Kevin. Fàbregas, it was an excellent goal.
Got an online offering for you. Sunday morning, Espanyol Valencia. Go to Sky Sports Extra for details on how to access that game. Plenty to look forward to still this weekend from La Liga, and see all the goals. Tuesday highlights. Programme Revista de la Liga, 6 o'clock Tuesday. Steal from Ballesteros. Forward towards Koné. Awkward one to control that for the Ivorian. Fàbregas. Barcelona desperate to keep the title race alive ahead of hosting Real Madrid next Saturday. There's Messi. Valdo. Pass short. Koné just wanted played over the top there. Mascherano might have had a problem.
I agree. Certainly wanted a better pass than that, Kevin.
Pep Guardiola needs one more league win to exceed the #1 by Frank Rijkaard, and only Johan Cruyff would be ahead of him. Levante looking to release Koné. It's onside. Shot comfortably charged down by Mascherano. It was Iborra who attempted a planted goalwards. Adriano.
Good tackle.
Good advantage played by the referee. Xavi Torres got the better of Pedro. Cross looking for Koné. Valdo. Pedro López. Valdo. Pass wayward of its intended target of Barkero. Here's Fàbregas. Ballesteros doing a good job there on Alexis Sánchez. That's a free kick against López.
Take your hat off to Ballesteros. He uses his bulk and his brain very well to get his body in the way. And they're going to have a lot more possession, obviously, than Levante, Barcelona, but they've got to turn that into goal-scoring chances.
Seen evidence in this first half about the long grass that Jerry was talking about earlier. Doesn't appear as though they've watered the pitch, although they promised to do so. I think the less slick they made this surface, Levante, the better chance they would have of getting a result. It will be a bit of a concern for Guardiola. They're not passing the ball as quick as he would like.
Yeah, but they've got the likes of Cuenca and TK and Iniesta on the bench, Montoya, Thiago. They've got a lot of pace and a lot of quality on the bench, and when the right time comes, I'm sure Guardiola will use them.
Of course, they're missing that extra thrust that Dani Alves gives them down that right-hand side. It's well left by Valdo. Pedro López in the clear. And Víctor Valdés knew that his angles covered. It was travelling wide. And there's a problem here.
Oh, it's Valdo and Adriano. Going hammer straight into him. I think they're both winded. But this is a poor strike for me from the fullback Pedro López. He gets into a good position to hit the target, Kevin, and again, you know, you've got to test the goalkeeper. For me, has to test the keeper, and he hasn't done that. You'd be disappointed, Pedro López, but Valdo looks winded.
Had eyes only for the ball, Adriano, and that was fearful clattering into Valdo, and both players will take a little time. It's a yellow card for Adriano.
It was a good advantage. I thought the referee's done well. to cheer a bit then is he let the advantage go on because he could see Pedro was pushing forward, Pedro López, and had a goal scoring opportunity. Well, it's not Thiago's getting booked, I'm sure it's Adriano who's getting booked.
It is Adriano.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
appeared to
Pedro's
flourish with Adriano.
Yeah, I'm sure it's Adriano was booked for the challenge on Valdo.
Could have been some back chat from Thiago that the referee was just having a quiet word about. Both Valdo and Adriano off the pitch momentarily, but both fit to resume shortly. There are 3 Barcelona players, incidentally, on 4 yellow cards tonight. Another booking would mean they would be out of the Clásico next week. And those 3 are goalkeeper Valdés, midfielder Thiago, and striker Alexis Sánchez. Away by Cabral. Xavi. Adriano. Thiago. A link up there for Busquets and Messi. This is Barkero. Messi. Messi's clipped forward, looking for Pedro.
Well, again, you can see the 4 defenders, Kevin, have narrowed the pitch. That middle third, full-backs coming in tight to the centre-backs. Same for the wide players in the midfield. They know Barcelona play the little 1-2s through that middle section of the park, and just making a congested area and not leaving a lot of space and trying to hit them on the break.
Well, of course, Barcelona are having more of the possession. That is always the way with Pep Guardiola's side, but just a little sluggish at times. And Jerry mentioned earlier about tiredness, not just about that particular subject physically, but also mentally as we come to the business end of the season. Might find a way through here. Messi. If anybody can find a way, he can. On this occasion, only the side netting. With fitness in mind, noted this week that Barcelona are going to spend next pre-season only in Europe. They normally travel the globe, such as the desire for their fans all around the world to see them up close and personal, but with the rigours of the Euro finals and the Olympics, Guardiola and the hierarchy at the Camp Nou have decided there'll be no worldwide pre-season. They'll play all their matches in Europe.
I don't understand why he wants to do that.
This is Thiago. First-hand experience of popularity that Barcelona have got around the world. I was in Colombia not so long ago, and I've never seen so many Barcelona. I thought I was actually in the city of Barcelona. Just around every street corner, every youngster and teenager appeared to have a Barcelona shirt on. It's incredible. Here's Xavi. Hopeful ball that, easy for Pedro López. Levante continuing to frustrate. It's going to be a booking. Don't think the referee's got any option here. Botelho.
Yeah, it was late. He's worked hard, Botelho, though, hasn't he? He's got back in and defended really well in front of the left back, Juanfran. He's made up that four alongside Xavi Torres and Iborra and Valdo. And there's the late challenge.
Botelho's already been on the losing side against Barcelona this season. He began the campaign on loan at Rayo Vallecano. They lost 4-0 in that match. Mentioned earlier, his parent club is Arsenal, but he's never played for the senior team. I think this is his 5th different Spanish club on loan. 22-year-old Brazilian. It's Messi with a free kick. It's beyond Puyol.
They don't look as sharp as they have been. I just wonder, Kevin, and you mentioned mentally. I think mentally they're starting to look a wee bit tired. He's offside here, Valdo. Starting to look a little bit tired. And the harder these games become when they're losing 1-0 and they have to win the match. A draw's no good to Barcelona. Well, you can see he is offside. Well, is he level? He looks offside. He's leaning offside. But if you're the last and widest player, Kevin, looking along the line, you don't need to go early.
Playing 2 minutes of stoppage time.
Well, we're looking at the running, Kevin, as well. You know, there's 5 games to go after tonight. And I think Real Madrid's got some tough games coming up as well. Athletic Bilbao away is a very tough game for them. Obviously next week away to Barcelona is the big one. That's a 6-pointer, as they say. But so too at Barcelona, they've got to go to Rayo Vallecano, and that is a really tough game. In Madrid, they've got to go, and the pitch won't be great. This looks like a good pitch compared to Rayo Vallecano's.
No way through for Messi.
Well, he's beaten 2 or 3 players, but they're just more and more. They've got so many players behind the ball. They're making it so difficult for him. He was past 1, but then there's another one coming after him. And eventually he runs out of space.
Header-ons from Valdo. Mascherano with time to get it back to Valdés. There won't be time for Barcelona to level before the break. I don't think we've had more than the 2 minutes added on. Little inquiry from Valdo as to where Teixeira Vitiene's half-time whistle is. Still he plays on. Of course, it's only a minimum of 2 minutes. And now he does blow for half-time. Levante's season continues to march on, and Lionel Messi and the star-studded Barcelona side have got work to do here in the second half. They trail to a Barkero penalty after a mistake from Víctor Valdés. Welcome back. Pep Guardiola has fond memories of this stadium. This is where Barcelona won their 3rd successive title last season. That game finished 1-1. Seydou Keita's goal gave Barcelona the point that got them over the line. But here they're going to need 2 at least, because draws are no good in the hunt down of Real Madrid, who beat Sporting Gijón earlier this evening at the Bernabeu. So the gap between the big 2 is 4 points. 5 games left after this weekend, and of course Barcelona home to Real Madrid next Saturday. We'll have the game for you both in 2D and 3D. Helped away by Iborra. Coming back with interest. Away by Botelho. Isaac Cuenca replacing Xavi at half-time. Don't know whether that's an injury to Xavi Hernandez or just a tactical switch from Pep Guardiola. Here's Messi. I think there'll be a number of Chelsea fans hoping Xavi's got an injury. How do you read it, Jerry?
I can't see him taking Xavi off at half-time unless there's a problem, and he might have a knock and he doesn't want to risk him for the second half. Cuenca's a good move. Thiago's another one who's got lots of pace, but I would have expected, if you're taking Xavi off, I would have expected Iniesta to come on in his place. But again, you know, maybe he's resting players for Champions League. Busquets misread that one, and Iniesta is warming up.
If he does get on, it'll be a milestone 400th game for Barcelona, for Andres Iniesta. Botelho took an age to get his intended shot off there. Cuenca, Thiago, Messi, Alexis Sánchez, appeals for handball. Pedro is looking to help that forward to Fàbregas.
The referee couldn't have been better position, Kevin. He was 2 yards from Pedro.
Fàbregas looking for Alexis.
That's excellent defending there from Juanfran, coming in on the cover. This is the ball. Well, you can see he's chipped it. There's the referee, and he's asking for it. He said it hit him on the hand. You can't really see from that angle, Kevin, if it hit the fullback Pedro López, but like I say, referee was in a great position.
Fàbregas. Cuenca. First chance to run at the Levante defence. Gets beyond Botelho. Iborra nips in quickly to concede the corner.
He's done well tonight again, Iborra, for me. Anchorman of midfield. He and Xavi Torres have worked tremendously hard.
I understand there's a number of bigger clubs looking at Vicente Iborra, who's come up through the ranks here at Levante. Quietly gone about a very effective season, 24 years old, at the heart of the midfield. Offside. It's a poor initial corner from Thiago. Another win for Levante would take them back into the Champions League place, above Malaga, into fourth, ahead of Malaga's game this weekend.
Well, they had a surprise defeat midweek, Kevin, away to Villarreal. They were 1-0 up in that match, but the goalkeeper gets sent off, and they conceded 2 late goals. So that's opened the door once again for Levante, and they can do themselves favours. That's good play.
They themselves, Levante, were disappointed to lose away at Sporting Gijón in the week, after having taken the lead in that game. They went down 3-2.
I think they were in the league twice, weren't they? They were 1-0 up and then 2-1 up and ended up losing.
Busquets. Cuenca. Messi. Lovely pass This is Adriano. The defending from Levante.
It's done well again by Ballesteros.
Fàbregas. Koné. Botelho doing a decent job as an extra left back, supporting Juanfran. Messi.
Un minutito, Rubén, un minutito, vamos.
Busquets. Koné. Mistake there between Mascherano and Thiago. This is Koné running at Puyol, looking for Barkero. Trying to feed it back to Koné, and a vital interception from Puyol.
Well, we saw the pace of Koné there, Kevin. I wasn't sure he shouldn't have went outside Puyol on his own, but he's decided to play it into Barkero. Barkero's pass could have been better for me. But look at this. There's a mistake from Thiago, and Koné gets away. And you fancy him there one-on-one. And he's obviously played it into the path of Barkero, who could have done better, I think. He would have been a teammate as well of Xabi Alonso in his days at Sociedad, Kevin. I wonder if Xavi been giving him a call and saying, do us a favour.
Adriano. Fed in towards Alexis, covered well by Cabral. Koné. A little slip there, opening here for Koné. Messi just trying to invite a challenge there, and Botelho just stepped out of it at the last moment.
I think it was a wise decision as well. Just shows you one little mistake, one slip from Juanfran. He's lost his footing, and Koné was past him. Now we're going to see another substitution, Barcelona.
It's Pedro coming off to be replaced by Iniesta.
Well, I think this is a more significant change for me, with Iniesta coming into the middle of the park. And he's brilliant at these little 1-2s and darting runs into the opposition penalty area.
Some of the Levante players standing up to applaud Iniesta's arrival. Not for the job he might do on their side tonight, but the fact he scored that winning goal in the World Cup final. It'll follow him around for some time to come yet.
It's a moment to be proud of, isn't it? Score the winning goal in the Cup final, the World Cup final.
Well, they normally find a way to unlock a mass defence. Plan A and B have been tried. Plenty more in the Barcelona locker, you suspect, yet.
Well, the only other one I would go with is Tello, because of his pace, his blistering pace. And we listened to Michel Soldado talking about getting one-on-ones and getting width. Tello certainly can do that. He knows where the back of the net is as well this season. That's a good ball.
Botelho, useful amount of space. Valdo makes a run for him. Here he is. It's a slightly risky going to ground there from Mascherano. Did enough to close out Valdo in the end.
Maybe he's done just too easy, Valdo, on this occasion.
Could easily have mistimed that, though.
He
dived in from quite a way back, didn't he, Mascherano?
And that's the risk you take, making those sort of challenges. He gets it wrong. Would they actually give 2 penalties against Barcelona?
Adriano, Messi. Back to Messi from Fàbregas. Alexis looking for Messi again. Koné. Good block from Juanfran. Held up well by Koné. He did terrifically well there to maintain the ball for Levante, and then he's given it away. Thiago. Messi. Iniesta. Away by Ballesteros. Now Koné. Thiago. Alexis Sánchez for Busquets. Now Puyol. Almost like a back 9 at times for Levante. It's Koné. Looks to try and get the better of Valdo, who did enough. Goal kick.
Once again, those 2 wide players in midfield, Kevin, doubling up as full-backs, did an excellent job. Working tremendously hard. That's a great job. And it's frustrating because it seems to have no joy down either flank at the moment.
Levante have already posted a number of club records this season. Most number of top-flight points, 48. Beating their previous best set only last season, 45. That was just enough to avoid relegation.
Yeah, but they've never had a season where they've beaten Barcelona and Real Madrid in the same season at home. That's never happened.
That'll be another record to go with their record unbeaten start. 2 draws and then 7 successive wins. Most number of away points, most number of wins. What a season. They will reach unprecedented heights if they hold what they have for the remaining half an hour or so. Koné. Thiago.
It's not Valdo, it's Botelho who's doing the job in the wide positions, and everybody behind the ball, Kevin, and working tirelessly just to keep this Barcelona side at bay. Almost an hour gone, and they still can't find a way through.
This is Adriano. Think about the shot. Oh, it's a good save from Munúa. Really athletic save from the Uruguayan to deny Adriano.
Oh, it's excellent plays. 2-footed Adriano, he's shaping to go left, comes back inside on his right foot, gets the shot off. That was on target, good save.
Here comes the corner. Oh, just got away. Mascherano. Messi. Can he unlock the door? As he has so often in the past. Appeals for handball against Iborra, nothing doing.
Low range up front for Levante. Koné on his own, working again. It's always 2 against 1 for him, though.
course, they'd expect to have less of the ball. And they have less of the ball in a number of home games, Levante. They're very much a side that like to hit you on the counter-attack. They've got a bit of pace in the shape of Koné and Valdo in particular. Here's Iniesta. Messi sees his shot charged down well. Once again, it was Botelho.
Getting through some work, aren't they, these midfield players? Well, it's hit him on the shoulder, top of the shoulder. Not a penalty kick. But this is a great effort, though, from Adriano. Shaping to go one way, comes the other. Produces a good save.
What's a good ball. Messi beaten to it, though, by the alert Munúa.
He's done well, Munúa, hasn't he? When he's had to, he's made the saves, Kevin. But his defence have been fantastic tonight. They've really well organised.
Looked like a clear free kick given against Pedro López.
They've only conceded 16 goals at home on this side. Real Madrid's conceded 18 goals at home. It shows you how well Levante have done.
Munúa very much had that effort covered. They've not worked him as much as they would have expected after 62 minutes.
I just wonder, are they getting tired though, Kevin? Is the pressure, mental pressure, starting to tell on them? And they don't seem to have any other game plan at the moment. You know, they're going wide, they're being forced left, they're being forced across the park down the right, and that suits Levante. And the crosses that have come in have not really threatened.
Here's Barkero looking for Koné. That partnership that very nearly opened Barcelona up for a 2-0 Levante lead some 5 or 6 minutes ago. Cuenca. Another good challenge from Botelho.
Great play from Botelho.
Terrific run from the Brazilian. Lovely looking pass. Just held up at the last moment there, Koné. Brilliant defending by Mascherano.
He was at full stretch. The pace of the ball needed to be a little bit longer in the space.
Here's Cuenca, and this time Botelho's knocked back to cover Juanfran. This is Messi. Gets away from Xavi Torres. And it's Messi! Brilliant goal! 40 in the league now for Lionel Messi. And once again, he looks like the man to dig Barca out of the hole.
Well, he's got a little bit of space, Kevin. That's what he's done. He's created a little bit of space, but it was still tight. But his finish, just the finishing is unbelievable. Cuenca's pass coming up inside. Messi turns out. He rides one challenge, plays the little 1-2, gets it back. That's a fantastic strike. Munúa gets actually a hand to it, the goalkeeper, but can't prevent it from getting in the back of the net. And Messi now, his 17th goal in his 10th game, successive game. 17 goals in 10 successive games is unbelievable. 62 for the season.
Away by Mascherano. Lionel Messi incidentally equals Mariano Martin's record of scoring in 10 successive league games for Barcelona. Martin achieved that way back in the 1942-43 season. Fascinating last 25 minutes or so left here.
It is, and that will give them a little bit of a lift. Barcelona will give them a lift and a little bit more belief.
This is Juanfran. Goal kick given.
Come with the man. And Messi has pulled him out of some holes over the last few seasons. Is he going to do it again tonight?
Barkero. Fouled by Cuenca. Well, Guardiola's message, of course, was all about 3 points tonight. He said the destiny of the title will rest on this game and the away game against Rayo Vallecano. Picking up on Jerry's earlier point, Guardiola has highlighted that potentially difficult trip to the capital on the worst pitch in the league. And it'll come right after the second leg at home to Chelsea in the Champions League semi-final. That first leg at Stamford Bridge on Wednesday.
Yeah, I've looked at results after Champions League games, Kevin, in the past, and that's when you usually see some surprises, when they're not at their best and they're feeling a little bit down, or there's key players missing.
Here's Messi, trying to tiptoe his way through, and free kick. And a really good area here for Barcelona.
Well, it's definitely Messi territory. On the edge of the day, it's Iborra who's picked up the yellow card.
Well, there's only one man taking control here. Xavi Hernandez off at half-time would have been another option. But this is going to be Messi's moment, he hopes.
Well, he's emphasising, the referee, Senior Vitieni, is wait for the whistle, as Messi's looking to take this one. I think he's already asked, can I take a quick one, but he's saying, no, wait for the whistle.
He often inquires.
Yep.
And it's worked for him a couple of times this season.
Well, is this a 10-man wall, Kevin? Certainly 2, 4, 6 Levante players in the wall. There's a couple of Barcelona players in there as well.
It's a huge moment, 3/4 of the game gone in Valencia. Little Levante have lived in the shadow of their more glamorous city neighbours, hoping to go fourth tonight. Messi hoping to reduce the gap on Real Madrid to 4 points with another goal. And that's disappointing. And Munúa had it covered anyway, even if it had been a little lower.
No, he is disappointed. Do you know what? He's had to wait an awful long time, Kevin. I think, you know, Messi likes to get on and take it. And the longer he waited, I think the more it put him off. And Cabral is still continuing to argue. He's got a yellow card for something he did or said in the wall. He has to be careful. Gustavo Cabral.
Here's Koné. A lovely pass to pick up Messi. Control instant. Full pace, Messi, can they get to him? Yes. It's the captain, Ballesteros.
You know, his experience is unbelievable. He's a big lad. He's maybe not as quick as he used to be, but I'd say he still anticipates and reads things very, very well.
Must have been like 1 floodlight going out there. As Messi saw it, as the big frame of Ballesteros closed in on him. Cuenca peeling for a possible push there by Botelho. Well, it's been given.
I don't believe that.
I think the assistant on this near side is flagged for a penalty. They rushed to the assistant. I don't think the referee gave it. But he has on the flag from his assistant.
I thought it was the other way around. It looked as if Botelho had been fouled by Cuenca, but Cuenca had already gone down.
Oh, what a huge moment in this La Liga season. Barcelona went a goal down to a penalty conceded by Busquets. Lionel Messi now has a chance to put them in front. Levante more than unhappy card now for Juanfran. Will need to walk away from this, otherwise he's going to pick up another yellow.
There's the 1-2. Well, it looks like Frank's fouled Botelho. It looks like Frank's fouled Botelho and brought Botelho down. That's what it looked like. And has the linesman seen it a different way? He has. And he's given the penalty kick and Messi set it up.
Botelho still perplexed from his point of view. What I will say is it was risky to put his arm out as soon as Koné felt it. He went down. Huge moment for Lionel Messi and Barcelona. Draw no good for them tonight. But they lead, and it's their talisman again. 63 goals now this season for Lionel Messi. And he's level in the race for the Pichichi, the top goal scorer in the league this season. He and Ronaldo now on a new La Liga best of 41 each.
It just gets better and better, Kevin, doesn't it, for Messi? 63 goals.
The title race still alive.
That's a fantastic penalty kick. He's put that right in the top right-hand corner. Kevin, that's a fabulous strike from Lionel Messi. And now we're going to have to see Levante showing a little bit more attack. They're going to have to gamble.
Still of the opinion, Jerry, it was harsh decision.
It looked a harsh decision to me. I didn't think, I thought it was the other way around. It looked like Cuenca, I know he put his arm up, Botelho, but as soon as he put his arm up, Cuenca's got the ground and he's clipped the ankles of Botelho. He looked like he felled him, so they will argue and continue the argument. The score stands as it is, 2-1. And if Levante want anything out of this, they're going to have to work harder.
Now, Iborra didn't give the ball back there, already on a yellow card, and just treading a thin tightrope there, Vicente Iborra.
Juanfran, Cabral, Iborra, there's loads of Valdo, the
Valdo
ball
picked
booked,
up, yeah.
all been booked.
Some of the games we've got for you over the weekend, including our offerings online from Sky Sports Extra, Sunday and Monday games online. And once again, you can see all the goals in our highlights program, Revista de la Liga, 6 o'clock Tuesday. Barcelona been nowhere near their best tonight, but they lead. And if they scramble across the line in first place, nobody will remember how they played at Levante. At the moment, they're heading for an 11th successive league win, knowing that if they beat Barcelona next week in the Clásico, the gap will be down to 1 point, and they would be ahead on the head-to-head, having won both home and away against Mourinho's Real Madrid. Should the sides finish level on points, that's how the title would be determined.
Yep.
Going to see Dani Alves for the final quarter of an hour or so. We're nursing a slight twinge to a hamstring that kept him out of the game against Getafe in midweek, coming on to replace Alexis.
I think we want to see if Alexis' pace and legs for Champions League football on Wednesday against Chelsea, and give Dani Alves a run out. Of course, he's a natural fullback, and it means that you can get Puyol will go back in at centre-half, which is a better idea for me. And Busquets can push into midfield.
They've not enjoyed this playing surface, though, have they?
No.
I just wonder how quick Chelsea might be able to grow the grass for the Champions League semi-final first leg on Wednesday. But having said all that, Jerry, They've seen enough tonight to give them some encouragement. It's not a foregone conclusion for Barcelona in that semi.
No, absolutely not. And certainly on set plays, I feel Barcelona can be got out. We've seen that on the penalty.
A lovely touch from Fàbregas. Taken on here by Messi. Iniesta. Fàbregas. Thiago shot. Block. Why didn't Fàbregas take it on?
They overplayed, Kevin. There was 2 opportunities to get a shot in and they didn't take it. I hope they don't regret it.
Just imagining if Levante miss out for a Champions League place by a point. They'll look back on that moment when Botelho had the penalty given against him here. You'd never have known there was tension on that Messi penalty, would you?
He seems to handle it so well, though, doesn't he? When you're scoring as many goals in a season as he is.
Well, with a potential 9 games left if they go to the Champions League final, he needs 5 to surpass Gerd Muller's 67 for Bayern Munich. That's the best we can recall in recent times. 72-73 season, Muller did that for Bayern.
You wouldn't bet on against him not doing it, Kevin. The average, he's looking at like 71, 72 goals he's going to end up on for this season.
It's worth repeating that, Jerry. 71, 72 goals in a single season.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I think he's hit the woodwork about 8 or 9 times this season as well, if I recall.
Yeah. And I wonder all the assists he's made.
About 71, 72. Thiago. Botelho coming off to be replaced by the Algerian international Cabral. Currently on loan from the Italian club Bari. Played in the last World Cup. Gezal actually done well on the several times I've seen him so far this season. Quick, strong, play just off Koné.
Well, they have to gamble, Kevin, as they say, 11 minutes to go. They're losing 2-1. They'll want to try and get something out of the game, and he'll give them more options.
He won't have the best night's sleep if Levante lose this game, Botelho.
No, he's not happy. He feels he was fouled in. I know, but you're right, Kevin. He did put his arm out. He did put his arm across. I think Cuenca's made the most of that. And the referee's not going to change his decision now.
Just gave the assistant something to think about. Botelho, that went against him. Oh, it almost got away there from Ballesteros. Iniesta still had a squeak of an opportunity.
That's great close control from Andres Iniesta. Gets inside the full-back, and look at the strength of Ballesteros, gets his frame in the way.
Barkero just waiting for Cabral to get forward from the back. Valdo.
Excellent block.
Pedro López. Messi. Asking a lot here of Dani Alves. Take your time, Alves says to Fàbregas. Barcelona where they want to be thanks to that man. That might have looked more of a penalty than the one given against Botelho. This Ballesteros challenge on Iniesta.
Iniesta hasn't got the ball though, Kevin, you know, and you can see he's won the line. Ballesteros, he's got his body in the way. And I suppose if you're a Levante fan, you will feel you've been hard done by.
Levante are going to get Wang Lu on as soon as they can. Just recovered from a broken leg. This is Valdo. Juanfran's wanting a free kick. Play on, says the referee. Ballesteros has made his way forward into the penalty area. They're gambling now, and may offer the gaps to Barcelona to finish it off for the third.
It's good cover from the centre-back, Gustavo Cabral.
Barkero looking for Valdo. Not a bad idea. Messi. Cuenca. Messi wants the pass. And there he is, brilliantly found by Cuenca. Good defending once more by Ballesteros.
He knew what Messi was going to do before Messi did when he went to flick it over his head. He's starting to have a little bit of a go, Levante. They're throwing extra players forward, putting a bit of pressure on.
Five minutes to go, plus stoppage time. Excellent work from Juanfran. Koné. Guardiola showed Levante plenty of respect with his starting 11 tonight. In an ideal world, ahead of the game against Chelsea in midweek, he'd have liked to have rested more key players. Of course, in the chase for Real Madrid, as I said earlier, couldn't afford to do that. This has been no easy game on the legs ahead of the match at Stamford Bridge.
You're absolutely right, Kevin. I think this is a really tough game they've had tonight. They could have done without it.
Koné did really well to escape Juanfran. Ballesteros in the way. Juanfran. Koné. Nice work from Thiago. Here's Fàbregas. Iniesta. As you can hear, quite a sizable Barcelona contingent in the crowd here at the Ciutat de Valencia Stadium.
There's the domination we talked about earlier, Kevin. Almost 70% possession for Barcelona. But the scoreline's the more important.
Koné. Just eats up a few extra vital seconds for Barcelona. Levante will get Wanlu on now. It's Barkero coming off. Not figured since December. Wanlu through that aforementioned broken leg. Scored 5 goals in his first 8 appearances this season. He was really flying in that record-breaking start to the campaign that Levante had. The fans really happy to see him back. Vital games as far as Levante have after tonight. Also time to get Ruben Suarez on to replace Iborra. But they've got Sevilla away, Granada home, Zaragoza away, Mallorca home, or Mallorca away rather, and Athletic Bilbao, their last match here for Levante. Munúa happy there was cover on there from Juanfran. Koné, blue shirts are flooding forward here.
Will do for Barcelona, but just a little bit of an anxiousness about them, Kevin, because they're having to work now. They're having to defend as Levante throw players forward in search of an equaliser.
No chance of a shot at goal there. Adriano quick to close the door. This is Wanlu. Claims a corner out of Valdés, but no great complaints of the fans, but I think Wanlu, from his body language, felt that the final touch was his.
Well, let's see what happens here as he plays the ball. Does it come off Dani Alves? Dani Alves puts his hand up. I thought it was a corner kick, but he's got the decision.
About to find out how many minutes Teixeira Vitienes has added on. I would think at least 3 minutes to be played. It is 3.
Barcelona do what they're good at. They keep the ball. That's all they need to do, keep the ball.
Alves with the fresh legs. Got a pass on for Iniesta. Very much overhit by Dani Alves. Here's Koné. Are we to get a dramatic twist? Absolutely no margin for error. They've got to keep winning, Barcelona.
And we're 90 seconds away from a very big 3 points, I'll tell you.
Pedro López shaping for the long throw. Valdo. Valdo. Lots of room here for Juanfran. Good ball, they're onside here, Levante. We're into the last 60 seconds. Decent looking cross. And it'll be comfortably seen over the top by Víctor Valdés.
Well, there's two Levante players fighting for the one ball, Kevin. At the far post, and I think could have done better. And you can see Guardiola not happy.
A little strain showing on the face there of Guardiola. He knew how important this 3 points was. They can take it down to 1 point if they win the Clásico next week. What a match in prospect at the Camp Nou next Saturday. Almost the 3 minutes of stoppage time up. Xavi Torres. Well, what a story that would have been if the former Barcelona player had equalised there.
It wasn't a bad effort, Kevin, from long range. It dipped and then it bounced off the surface. Víctor Valdés does well to hold on to it as well.
It's all over. And Barcelona stay in touch of Real Madrid at the top. Levante will argue from their point of view long and loud over the awarding of the penalty, which Messi dispatched for the winning goal. 2 goals for Messi. They came from a goal down, and they've got 3 vital points.